Okay, continuing with Marky Mark Levin. Here we go. Ah! What just happened?
News.
A lot of people like him. He's tough as hell. But I like him. I love him.
Call in now. 877-381-3811.
Greenhouse gases. Then we'll move on, but I think this is very, very important because this is what's happening to our country, and it will gravely and negatively affect your life, as it has in Europe and as it has in the rest of the world. This isn't Russia cutting off a pipeline to Germany. This is the Democrat Party cutting off energy to our own people. And remember that when you're going to vote, women in the suburbs. Carbon dioxide is the primary greenhouse gas emitted by human activity. I just want to go over this again. And this 2021 paper in the Journal of Cleaner Production found the electric cars emit 48% less than gasoline-powered ones. Is it lower? Yes. It is still far from zero. And a study published for the IFO Institute of Germany in 2019 found that an electric Tesla Model 3 emits 11 to 28% more carbon dioxide over its lifespan than a diesel Mercedes C220D.
Than a diesel Mercedes over the lifespan of the vehicle. Because it's going farther. It's traveling farther.
It's a C220D. Again, LCAs, the lifetime, are subject to uncertainty. No single study is an end-all, but this clearly proves that electric vehicles are far from emission-free. With no regard for those facts, Gavin Newsom asserts that California now has a groundbreaking, world-leading plan, I'm quoting, to achieve 100% zero-emission vehicle sales that will help solve this climate crisis.
There will never be zero emissions. You know, it's not a real world scenario.
Contrary to Newsom's claim of climate crisis, a wide array of environmental and human welfare measures related to climate change have stayed level or improved for more than 3 decades. This includes foliage productivity, extinction rates, forest cover, agricultural production, coastal flooding, rainfall and droughts, hurricanes, tornadoes, and extreme weather fatalities. These empirical facts refute more than 30 years of failed predictions by global warming alarmists. Newsom then adds another layer of deception by stating that the plan reduces, quote, dangerous carbon emissions.
Global warming alarmists, aka modern day, air quote, scientific doomsday prophets, alarmists.
That pollute our communities. This misportrays CO2 as a toxic, dirty substance. And this is the idiotic debate I had with that fool from Mediaite, Sarah Rump. In reality, it is an organic, colorless, non-carcinogenic gas that has no toxic effects on humans until concentrations exceed at least 6 times the level in the Earth's atmosphere.
And all my limited research has said that carbon dioxide is a small-time player, small fries. The bigger one, buckle up for this one, is water vapor. Whoa, water vapor. So if you fix all the carbon dioxide, then what are you going to do to control all this out-of-control water vapor? Okay, sorry, I digress.
Referring to CO2 as carbon is also unscientific.
Yes.
That's because CO2 is not carbon. Just like H2O water is not hydrogen.
Think of how, next time you drink some water, think of how dumb that is to say, look at here, I'm drinking hydrogen. Hydrogen's a gas. So anyway, chemistry's not my strongest subject, but we can learn. I like learning things, new things to me, and we can learn some basic stuff. So, yeah, I think of carbon as being more of a solid. I've heard of hydrocarbons, and that's probably what needs to be addressed more so.
There are more than 10 million different carbon compounds And calling CO2 carbon conflates this relatively innocuous gas with highly noxious substances like carbon monoxide and black carbon. In summary, there's no reliable evidence that greenhouse gas reductions from electric cars will benefit anyone. Like Newsom, the California Air Resources Board boasts that, quote, 100% of new cars and light trucks sold in California will be zero-emission vehicles by 2035. Assuming Newsom and the board members have at least a rudimentary knowledge of electric cars, calling them zero-emission vehicles is a lie. A Google search reveals that journalists and many others are also using this inherently false phrase. The harms of this deceit extend well beyond pollution. This is because electric cars are more costly than other options. And that's why people rarely buy electric cars unless governments subsidize or mandate them.
Speak of the devil, some geek on NPR last week was talking about, and that rhymes, I like it, but he was talking about, they said the average cost of an all-electric vehicle is still over $60,000. That's a lot of green money. Now, I've got a friend that used to work as a mechanic full-time. He bought a used Nissan Leaf that he likes, and he didn't tell me how much, but I'm guessing it was probably a pretty good deal because he's relatively frugal and you know, so. But anyway, it's nerdy. I mean, it's really geeky. The same lady was talking about her fossil fuel vehicle. Okay, well, even if you were burning 100% biodiesel or the ethanol alcohol, there's still an emission. There's still emissions. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be zero emissions. So anyway, I'm going to pause it and start. This has gone longer than I thought.